Hello ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to a Survival Access Show news video. Today I cover survival games. If you're new to my channel, I pretty much give you all the lowdown on every survival game coming, new releases for PC, and more specifically games that are going to be appearing on Xbox and PlayStation. I am one of them console scrubs. I often do top survival game videos, whether it's the top 15, brand new games coming. This is the angle that I take, usually when some of the other games are a little bit quieter. One of the videos I did do was this, the best survival games on PS4, Xbox. 200,000 views, that's pretty good for me. I'm still a relatively small channel, but it got a massive amount of dislikes. Why? Because I was stupid enough to believe Bethesda could turn Fallout 76 around, and I included it in my top 15, albeit at number 15, as some of the best survival games to play. I so regret that choice, and I will be making a brand new video very soon, and maybe even putting this one on private. Why am I doing that? Because Bethesda are out to rip off the player base once more. Not only has Fallout 76, I would safely say, been a huge flop, not only are they still ripping off their fan base that are still playing the game, they're intent on doing even more underhand shenanigans. This news just come out a little while ago. Private worlds are coming. It's been something a lot of people have been wanting, and it was a big selling point before Fallout 76 launched, that private worlds alongside modding would come to Fallout 76 eventually. Well, they are arriving, but you're going to have to pay $100 a year to play Fallout 76 with friends. The 1 year anniversary for Fallout 76 launch happened a few weeks ago, and there's already been a bunch of videos talking about the fact they're adding even more pay to win microtransactions to the Atomic Shop, despite the fact that they promised they would only ever add cosmetic items. There's a bunch of videos around. Yongye has probably got the best take on it, and I'm sure he'll be covering a video up on this new topic. But this is interesting to me because I do cover survival games, and I'm going to lean into a little bit why Bethesda feels so confident in launching private worlds, but at a very much reduced state than you would expect. Anyway, let's go through it. I'm going to explain what you get, and then I'm going to explain why it's such bad news, and show you some examples of other survival games that are either doing it much better, or certainly giving players actual value. In short though, Fallout 76 is taking a feature where you would play normally on your own private world, and they're making you pay money for it. This isn't a case of giving you a server where 32 players can run around and do what they want. That sounds pretty cool. No, there are definite caveats to renting your own server out in Fallout 76, which are shockingly horrible and bad, and way behind games such as Ark, Conan. And none of these are really AAA games. They're all still very much indie and budget games sometimes, but they are definitely going to be doing a better job with their servers than Bethesda will ever do. Anyway, let's break it down quickly. I'm not young yet. I'm not going to read all this boring blurb out. Let's just get to the nitty gritty. For $100 or £100, taking into account no currency conversion a year, or paying it a lot more expensively each month, you can see $11.99 per month, Xbox, PlayStation or PC. You can have your own private world. Play on a private world exclusively for you and up to 7 friends. 8 player maximum. You'll get unlimited storage, something that the player base for Fallout 76 has been crying out for. But it seems you're going to have to pay for the privilege of being able to just dump your shit anywhere. A new survival tent with a stash, sleeping bag and more, 1650 atom roos, so you can go ahead and buy them time savers you desperately needed, a ranger armor outfit, and some icons in the emotes pack. At first glance, I started covering this story that it was still a little bit undervalued, but at least there was going to be some servers for players that they could just join in and out whenever they wanted. But delving into it a little bit more, basically the small print and Bethesda are absolutely ripping players off much more than I thought. So let's explain. Games like Ark Survival Evolved, Conan, DayZ, they offered you the chance to rent a server out. If we do something compatible with Ark Survival Evolved on the PlayStation 4, for 365 days you get a 20% discount, and for 10 slots, so 10 players can join, you'll pay £90, so already £10 cheaper than Bethesda are offering. You get 2 extra slots, and admittedly you don't get any of the other features, but what you do get is the chance to customize and change whatever you want in the world. I run a lot of servers, Nitrado are one of my partners. They sponsor me, so lots of my servers are free, and I've got various different games, DayZ, Atlas, Ark, and in the past I've rented out Conan from other server providers. There are some exceptions. DayZ doesn't necessarily have the best customization options, but Atlas, Ark, Conan, and all the other PC games, they give you the ability to customize and change the game absolutely amazingly. You can make no dinosaurs appear on your world. You can increase the gathering rates. You can increase the difficulty of the creatures. You can change how enemies spawn, what types of dinosaurs spawn. The possibilities are literally endless with Ark Survival Evolved, and they've even got deeper expert settings that allow you to customize even more. It's truly astounding really how much you can do with your own private server. If you know how, some of this stuff is pretty complicated to look up. But once you get used to it, you can really start doing something decent for you and your friends if you wanted to rent a server out. And this is big business for survival fans. Forget the Fallout hype, forget the Fallout game and history. Survival fans are often looking for ways to play on their own because official rates are just too much. They don't want to be dealing with any sort of tether. That's normally what you have on Ark or Conan. You can play and invite 7 or 8 of your friends without even owning a server. But once you leave that game, that's it. Everyone has to leave and you're normally restricted to each other in some way. And this is where Fallout starts falling apart. You're not going to be able to customize your server. You can't change any of the stats. It's going to be exactly like it is on adventure mode. On top of that, it's not an actual full server. This is where the outrage is going to kick in. You're paying for players to be able to join you, but no one else. When you shut down your world, none of your friends will be able to carry on playing on the server. They're literally selling what you find for free in Ark, Conan, pretty much every other co-op or multiplayer game out there. A chance to play on your own world. They're selling it for $100 a year. It doesn't say any of this stuff in the first initial page. You have to go all the way down and actually click buy on the server to take a look. And then in the facts and queues, you'll see this here. The rule set including rewards and drop rates is the same as adventure mode on a public world and not possible to change currently. All character progress you and your friends make, including camp placement, is saved as the world shuts down. The same as when you leave your game from a public world. Private worlds are not persistent and once shut down will need to be started by the owner again. Let's be clear for anyone that really is still a bit not clued up. Games like Ark, Conan, do not need the person who bought the server to be online. Once you buy your server, it's up and running. Anyone that can join if you give them the password or if you set the opening up to open. But no, Bethesda won't do that. They're not letting you have a server for yourself for a whole year. They're literally making you pay for the option for your friends to join you, but no one else. A private world holds a total of 8 players and must be started or joined using existing characters. Only the owner of the world is required to be a Fallout First member, and they can invite friends from the social menu to lead them into a game. Alternatively, friends can join a member's world from the social menu if the owner is currently playing on it. When the owner leaves their private world, it will remain active if at least one guest is a Fallout First member. Otherwise, the game begins a shutdown timer, notifying all players before removing them at the end of the countdown. So, I've rented out my server, or my private world. 7 of my friends who haven't got any of the first actual membership, they'll all be kicked off when I decide to turn off my Xbox or PlayStation. The only way the server is going to carry on going is if one of my friends also has the first Fallout membership, and then the server would carry on until he decides to leave. It's absolute bullshit that Bethesda are pulling this. This is not private worlds. I mean, I guess in extent it is private world, but I think most people expected the ability to rent servers. As lots of these indie games have shown, you can do this. It's something that a lot of games companies are doing now. It's a big appeal to people to be able to customize and do what you want on your own worlds. But Fallout 76 is not allowing that. They're just literally making it that you can play the game with some friends. And you've got to pay $100 a year for that privilege. As I'm trying to make clear, on these other games like Ark and Conan, you can play with your friends for free without a server. They join your world, you turn off your Xbox, your PlayStation, your friends can't join that world until you come back online. This is effectively what Bethesda are now offering, but they're making it so much money to have that feature in place, on top of the fact that no one really wanted this next Fallout game to be a multiplayer game. They were quite happy, or the hardcore fans wanted it to be a single player experience or just something co-op. It's shocking how tone deaf Bethesda have been with Fallout 76. But for a while now, they have really been focused and honing in on just their hardcore audience. Look up the term whale, MTX whale, gaming MTX whale, and watch any of the videos that really pop up. And they'll give and explain what a whale is to game developers and publishers. A whale is someone, an uber fan, someone that will spend hundreds, thousands of dollars on their favourite game. Microtransactions, cosmetics, you name it, they'll sink absolute bundles into. And if you've got the money, heck, why not? But these are the types of customers that game developers really hone in on. They don't really care if 100 players never buy a cosmetic item, as long as they can catch some of these whales who will spend thousands of dollars over a game's lifetime. And this is exactly the sort of thing that these servers or these private worlds are homing in on. Whales and uber fans. And it just doesn't offer any value. Like I said, when I first started reading this, I thought, well, this isn't that bad. It's comparatively around the same price you'd find for other similar survival games if you look at Fallout 76 as a survival game. I know the Fallout fanboys really want it to be something else, but that was the whole reason I was interested in this game, was because I thought it was going to be something more like Rust, and it ended up being not like that at all, just a PvE pussy paradise. Even with the survival beta they added, where it had much more robust PvP options, it improved it a little bit for me, and I pretty much did think that maybe yes, Fallout 76 could possibly turn a corner and start improving. But time and time again over the last 6 months, they've ripped off fans even more by adding more microtransactions, despite them saying they would only ever add cosmetics. And a recent post has outlined their vision for the future, which includes even more time savers and ways that you can basically play your game, but you're going to have to pay to actually get anywhere in it. But yeah, if this offered all year round server, you didn't have to be online, your friends could come and go as you wanted, you could change your password to stop other people joining, I honestly wouldn't be able to argue against it that much. For non-survival fans, for people that have never rented a server, you're still going to be pretty shocked by it all, that a game that literally charged so much for what felt like an alpha, not even a beta, has the audacity to go ahead and launch something like this when they still haven't added stuff that they promised like NPCs. But as I said, whales and survival fans are a different type of gamer. They will sink thousands of hours into their favourite Ark or Conan game. And they are the kind of people that would actually do something like this. Well, normally anyway. But with the fact that you cannot play on that world unless someone with the membership has the membership, it really makes this a terrible, terrible proposition. They can chuck as many atoms as they want at you a month, and the unlimited storage is probably looking pretty tasty for some players. But it's absolutely disgusting that they're not offering something comparatively that their rivals are, and they're basically cutting out an experience you'd find in most games and reselling it as if it's something positive. By the way, I've got a horrible cold, so apologies if I sound like I'm literally talking from underwater. But there you go, folks. Don't get too excited about private worlds. They're not really what I thought most people would expect. Also take into account that mods, which they mentioned in the first post, it looks likely the only way you'll ever be able to play with mods is by indeed owning a private world. It's always been a bit funny how they would implement mods. When they announced it, people was left scratching their head. How can you implement mods on live official servers? I think a lot of people assumed it would only be for your private worlds, of course. But again, I think a lot of people thought they would give players the option to have their own Fallout 76 experience offline, or their own world where they could change and add mods just like it is in Skyrim and Fallout 4. When you delve deeper into the FAQs, it does state they have no plans for mods at this time, or say there's no official support, but the original post does indeed say that mods will come to private worlds eventually. And guess what, people? Their mods are not going to be the free mods that you've downloaded on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox, for Fallout 4 and Skyrim. They're going to be, once again, the nickel and dime bullshit that is the Curation Club. It's absolutely horrendous. You're going to see a lot of it from the usual hate bait YouTubers, and with good reason on this occasion. I really thought Fallout 76 may be able to turn a corner. It's had some decent content updates over the last year. They've improved and stabilised a lot of the issues, but so much of the core problems are still there, like not having enough inventory, like not being able to play offline or just with your friends, and now we know why. They were waiting for more Outrage to die down before announcing that they're going to sell it all to you rather than give something free that most games would consider as core basics. Agree, disagree? Are you a whale? Are you a hardcore Fallout 76 fan? Does this still appeal to you? What differences are there really from this and just playing on official and grouping up with a bunch of others? It's once again Bethesda's greed just really on show. Absolutely no scruples, no thinking, and totally focused on rinsing as much money from players that actually love this game. I'll be back with more survival news. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. And look out for a new improved top 15 survival games. Because currently right now, I wouldn't put Fallout 76 in the top 1000. It's horrendous what Bethesda have done to this once great franchise and the unique possibility of having something special with Fallout 76.